Have you ever wondered if the next big financial crash could be the spark that ignites World War III? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but some people are pointing to the year 2026 as a potential flashpoint. Let's dive deep into this idea and see if there's any truth to it, or if it's just fear-mongering. History is filled with chilling examples of economic turmoil leading directly to war. Think about the Great Depression in the 1930s. It wasn't just about long breadlines and stock market crashes. In Germany, the economic collapse created a desperate population, which made it easier for extremist ideologies to take root. People were looking for a scapegoat and a strong leader to promise them a way out. This desperation paved the way for the rise of the Nazi Party, and ultimately, the catastrophic outbreak of World War II. It's a stark reminder that when people lose everything, they can become willing to do anything. Similarly, the lead-up to World War I wasn't just about assassinations and alliances. It was also a period of intense economic competition. European powers were scrambling for colonies, resources, and markets. This imperialist race, driven by economic ambitions, created a web of rivalries and tensions that were just waiting for a trigger. The economic pressures were like a pressure cooker, and eventually, the whole thing exploded into a global conflict. These historical events show a clear pattern. Severe economic instability can destabilize nations, fuel nationalism, and make war seem like a viable, even necessary option. So, why are some people specifically pointing to 2026? What's the theory behind this date? A lot of this speculation comes from analyzing economic cycles and geopolitical trends. One popular theory is the long wave cycle, also known as the Kongreshev wave. This theory suggests that capitalist economies go through long cycles of boom and bust that last about 50 to 60 years. According to this model, we're currently at the tail end of a cycle that began in the 1970s and 80s. These cycles often end with a period of stagnation and a major financial crisis. If you do the math, the mid-2020s, including 2026, falls right into that window. Another piece of the puzzle is the idea of generational cycles. One theory, proposed by historians Neil Howe and William Strauss, suggests that society moves in 80 to 100-year cycles, roughly the length of a long human life. Each cycle consists of 4 turnings, with the final one being a period of crisis. This 4th turning is a time when the old order is torn down and a new one is built, often through major conflicts. According to this theory, the last 4th turning was the era of the Great Depression and World War II. If that cycle started around the 1930s, the next one would be due right around now, culminating in the late 2020s. The theory suggests that societal tensions, political polarization, and economic fragility all come to a head during this period. Now, let's connect these theories to our current global situation. Today's world is a complex web of economic dependencies. Global debt levels are at an all-time high. We're talking about governments, corporations, and individuals all drowning in debt. A significant economic shock, like a major banking collapse or a sudden spike in interest rates, could create a domino effect, triggering a global financial crisis far worse than what we saw in 2008. Imagine this scenario. A major economy defaults on its debt. The global financial system freezes up. Trade grinds to a halt. Mass unemployment sweeps across the world. People's savings are wiped out. The social fabric begins to tear. In such a desperate environment, what do governments do? Historically, they often turn to nationalism and protectionism. They blame other countries for their problems. Trade wars can easily escalate. We're already seeing hints of this today, with rising trade tensions and a move away from globalization. This is where the risk of military conflict skyrockets. When diplomatic and economic tools fail, military action can start to look like an attractive option for leaders trying to distract a suffering population or secure vital resources. Think about the key geopolitical hotspots right now. You have rising tensions between the United States and China, who are competing for economic and technological dominance. A severe economic crisis could push this rivalry into a full-blown conflict. Then there's the situation in Eastern Europe, with Russia's ongoing ambitions. An economic collapse in Russia could make its leadership even more aggressive and unpredictable on the world stage, seeking external conflicts to maintain a grip on power. The Middle East remains a powder keg of unresolved conflicts, where economic desperation could easily fuel existing tensions over resources like oil and water. So, when we put it all together, the 2026 hypothesis paints a rather grim picture. It combines cyclical theories of economic and social collapse with the very real and present dangers of our modern geopolitical landscape. The idea is that a perfect storm could be brewing, a cyclical economic downturn, combined with peak generational crisis, high global debt, and simmering international rivalries. In this scenario, a 2026 financial crisis wouldn't just be an economic event. It would be the trigger that unleashes decades of pent-up tension. But let's take a step back and be critical. Is this inevitable? Absolutely not. These cyclical theories are just that, theories. They are models for understanding the past, not crystal balls for predicting the future. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, though it often rhymes. There are many factors that could prevent this catastrophic outcome. For one, our global economic system has built-in safeguards that didn't exist in the 1930s. Central banks around the world have tools to intervene and prevent a total meltdown. International institutions, like the IMF and World Bank, were created specifically to promote financial stability and cooperation. Global communication is instantaneous, allowing for faster diplomatic responses to crisis. We are more interconnected and aware of our shared risks than ever before. Furthermore, the sheer destructive power of modern warfare is a powerful deterrent. The concept of mutually assured destruction, which kept the peace during the Cold War, still applies. Major world powers know that a direct military conflict with one another would be catastrophic for everyone, with no real winner. This realization might be enough to force cooperation, even in the face of a severe economic crisis. We also have the power of human choice and agency. Leaders and citizens can choose cooperation over conflict. We can work to reform our economic systems to make them more resilient and equitable. We can strengthen diplomatic ties and international institutions. We can resist the pull of nationalism and extremism. The future is not written in stone. It is shaped by the decisions we make today. So to summarize, the idea of a 2026 financial crisis leading to World War III is a speculative but thought-provoking hypothesis. It is grounded in historical precedent and cyclical theories that suggest we might be entering a period of significant risk. The combination of massive global debt, geopolitical tensions, and the potential for a severe economic downturn creates a volatile mix. However, it's crucial to remember that this is not a prediction. It's a warning. It highlights the real dangers of economic instability and the importance of international cooperation. While the patterns of history are concerning, we also have new tools, greater awareness, and powerful deterrents that previous generations lacked. The path we take depends on the choices we make. This leaves us with a profound question to ponder. As we look towards 2026 and beyond, will we learn from the mistakes of the past and choose a path of cooperation and peace? Or will we allow economic turmoil to once again drag us into a global conflict? What do you think is the more likely outcome? And what can we do to steer towards a better future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.